Why is it locked? Oh well. What's up, man? I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. There. I gotta go post it on Instagram. I'll be right back. Oh, I can turn the camera. There we go. No, wrong way. Why would I do that? What's up, guys? Sorry, like I'm trying to figure this shit out. Why will it not let me rotate alive? Does it have to be like this? Oh well. I guess this is just how it's gonna be. So, I thought I could do it the other way. But it is what it is. Alright, so let's go with that. Hello from England. It's 11 p.m. This is exactly what I want to be watching. Really? I don't know if it's exactly what I would want to be watching, but why? I want to be able to see my chat up there. Does anybody know how to rotate this? Because that would be awesome. Top chat. Because literally, like, I'm just... Damn it. You guys can hear me all right, though, right? It's been 11 years. It's definitely one I want to be watching. Yeah, it's been a long time. I wish that I could put the chat up there, though. I don't know. I guess I'll just have to read it off of here. And I guess we're just doing it this way. I thought I could rotate it, but sorry, guys. You get the up and down view tonight. Ahoy, Game of Morphs. Alright, so actually I don't even need that. Because whenever I had it rotated the other way, I had to use my TV to actually like read the comments and stuff like that. So, should we go back to cleaning like it's old school? You're gonna hear the vacuum a lot because that's what happens whenever we clean. Still to this day. So much easier to clean with a vacuum. And then I'm gonna be showing you babies. And actually, this view will probably be better for you guys to see them, honestly. So, all right, I'm gonna start cleaning and then showing you guys babies, explaining what they are, all that fun stuff. So, and then feel free to ask me any questions, anything like that, and we'll kind of go from there. So, let's do this. Oh, paper towels. And then probably we're going to see some lighting changes because there's a right there is a window. So you're actually going to see stuff in natural sunlight. Oh, I guess I could show you these guys real quick. So these guys that don't look like very much, these are Black Knight Crossed a Bell, which are kind of cool. So they just look like kind of faded out normals, but it's what they're going to look like later is what is going to be the cool part, for sure. Then And we have this one. Hold on. Whoop, whoop. So this one is actually going to Arizona. Hey brother, good to see you. Good to see you too, man. Obsessed, never caught a live before. Will you be vending Daytona? I will not be vending Daytona as of right now, but I will be going to Daytona. What I can do though is if you see an animal that you really like, you can purchase it from me and I can hand deliver it to you in Daytona. We're gonna go back to this one because this thing's awesome. Whoop. She's a little freaked out. Here, maybe she'll like going better up that way. She's super cool. Crazy amount of carrot tail. Yeah, so if there's anything that you really like, I can hand deliver it to Daytona. But I'm technically not going to have a table, but I am going. Yeah, if you're stuck at the table, you can't really go hang out with everybody that you want to, and I'd rather go hang out with everybody. I did a lot of hanging out with everybody last year, and it was so much more fun, honestly. I don't want to be a slave to my table, honestly. So we're not going to be. So here's one that you guys probably would want to see. That is the Heath Ledger. It's the Black Knight Joker. The darkness has definitely like overtaken the whole body, but you can still see that stripe right there. Hopefully that stripe is going to turn red. I'll show you a couple here that are kind of like that, that are slightly different. Ooh. And then this is the sibling. So the sibling's not crazy compared to the other one, but still very, very cool. At least the lighting is still good. It's about to rain, so. But welcome to Florida in the afternoon. So. I am going to go through and do most of, well, I'm going to do these 3 baby racks probably while we're live. So you guys will get to see quite a variety of stuff. This male is actually already sold too, but is pretty cool. Just the colors are pretty awesome. And then a lot of the ones that are going to be here first actually are on Morph Market, and they are going to be in order. So if you're like following along on Morph Market, like the numbers, so I'm literally starting at 1 and going down through, so you actually can see what some of the animals look like in person-ish. So that should be fun for you guys, so you can kind of follow along and see what they currently look like. This thing is awesome too. Like, look at the head on that thing. Super, super pretty. I just started watching you when I got my first Leo. She turned 18 and sadly passed away 3 weeks ago. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't think I'll ever get another one after having 3, but you sparked the passion again. The dark ones are lush. Yes, they are. Well, if you do end up getting another leopard gecko, like, definitely let me know. Hope you do. They're great pets and do terrific. This one's pretty cool too. This is part of the G2 project as well, with that carrot tail. Super, super sweet animal. We're not going to have the overhead view today. It'll just kind of be this view. I mean, I guess I could put... I wish I had 2 camera angles, because that would be kind of cool. Maybe I'll work on that so that I can have a camera pointed down at the actual tub, and then another one like pointed up so you can see what the hell's going on. These 2 are very cool as well. Some crazy like green highlights on this one. This is a boy as well. Super cool. Have you ever had to fish a baby out of the vacuum? Not this go around, but back in the day whenever I did not move them out of their tub, I would. So basically my setup right now is like there is a higher tub in front, and then on the table there is, actually hold on one second here and I'll show you. Because you can't show poop on YouTube these days. You'll get freaking canceled. Even though that's what I'm doing, is cleaning tubs. I do wish I could get one of yours, but being in the UK, I could not, of course. But your content is enough. I'm trying to be able to get my animals to the UK. So you might be able to eventually do that. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a little fake setup here of how I have them set up, or what my table technically looks like here. So, whoop, and then like this. All right, so basically what you'll have is I'll have my tub in front of me, and then I'll take the hide out, take the paper towel out, and obviously we're gonna put the babies in here, and then clean the spray bottles right there. We just go like that, do that, put the hide back on, and then put them all away. On the side of the table, we've got my paper towels, a couple extra buckets. I was pulling eggs earlier from the breeders, so these are still sitting on the table, but I will end up putting those back on the shelf here shortly. But that'll get you, and then basically there's a shop vac underneath, and then it's actually attached to this power strip. So to turn on the vacuum, I just hit the power strip, so I don't have to keep reaching underneath. And then the shop vac hose kind of goes right there. So that gives you kind of an idea of like the layout. So let's turn this back around so that we can do this. All right, there we go. So that's kind of like the basic setup of how everything rocks right now. And then I am doing like slightly different like methods right now, because Florida is a little bit more humid than up north. So I'm kind of messing around with like paper towels and figuring out which way I like it. If I like it folded, if I don't like it folded. For the babies, I kind of like it folded. So what I've been doing is like going from like folded paper towels as a baby to not folding once they get a little bit bigger, because they retain a lot more moisture. So I don't have to. Why are you guys being crazy back there? Because I don't have to keep it as humid, if that makes sense. Because here in Florida, it's humid, so I don't have to worry about it as much. So what else, guys? Ask me some questions here. Why are you guys being crazy over here? Hey. Hey. Hi. I know, you guys are like causing a ruckus back here. You're causing a ruckus. That's because you guys are breeding. Calm down. Let me put you in a different tub. Here, you can go in. Alright, there we go. One of the females was not having it. I fold and flood the hatchlings. Okay. It's getting a little dark out there. It's going to rain like really hard. So this is a Joker cross to Black Knight. Again, doesn't look like much, but what they can produce is freaking crazy. Do you have any pets of your own? If so, what do you have? Since my oldest gecko passed, I just have 5 pet rats who are amazing. I do have pets. I have 2 cats that are out in the other room right now, sleeping, because that's what cats do. I also have some pet reptiles. I've got, what all do I have right now? I've got emerald tree boas. I've got green tree pythons. I have 1 ball python that is a paradox ball python, which is pretty cool. I also have a crested gecko, a pair of lychee geckos, and then I have my colony of monkey tail skinks, which I have quite a few monkey tail skinks. Like right now we're up to like 23 and I'm getting 4 more. So I'll be up to like 27. So a lot of tail skinks. I also have 2 baby blue tree monitors that are, actually 3 blue tree monitors. The female is going to stay where it's at because it's part of a breeding loan. I have 2 babies that I have to go pick up. And then I also have a yellow tree monitor male that is also on breeding loan. And his babies are about to hatch like the end of the month, early August. So I'll have 2 yellow tree monitor babies if all goes well. You guys are really being crazy back here. What are you guys doing? Is that you guys that's going nuts? Or is it somebody else? Alright, anyway. So, yeah, I have some pets as well. And then, like, some of the geckos, like, are more special to me. And they're kind of, like, my pets. They have names and all that stuff. So, yeah, some of them are, like, breeders and then other ones are pets. I mean, they're all my pets, honestly, because, like, take care of them all the time. It's just that I do actually, like, sell them as well. So yeah, there's that. So these guys are pretty cool. There's this one. Woo, pretty. And then there's this one, which are also very cool. So in my 6-quart tubs, I will raise siblings together, unless they do not have a sibling, and then they get the whole tub to themselves. I don't use anything smaller than a 6-quart tub. I think 6-quart is like, you know, the smallest that I'd ever want to go for a leopard gecko baby. And then once they reach about 25 grams, usually they're either like sold on hold, I split them up into singles, or they get processed into their, like, if I'm keeping them, they go into their bigger tubs for breeding later. That way, like, I don't keep them in small tubs for very long, honestly. What weights do you start selling or advertising? Basically, I like to wait till about 15-20 grams before I post them. That way I know the sex of what they are, because people are interested in specific sexes, basically. Usually by like 20 grams you can tell pretty easily like if they're male or female. So that's what I usually do. Also, by then you'll have a great idea of what the color is going to be like. So you can, you know, properly like sell them and stuff like that. Look at this, pretty cool. And then the sibling, also pretty awesome. My comment got lost in bad service, but that's awesome. You have basically a zoo. I miss my snakes. Yeah, I can. All right, do you have better service now? I'll go back through it again real quick. So I have green tree pythons, emerald tree boas. I've got 1 ball python, 2 leachianus, 1 crested gecko, 23 prehensile tail skinks, 3 blue tree monitors, 2 of which are F2 babies. And the 1 will stay down in southern Florida on a breeding loan. The other 2 are going to come with me. I have 3 yellow. Well, I will have 3 yellow tree monitors. The 2 babies have not hatched yet. Basically, we're splitting the clutch, and there's 4 eggs in the clutch. And the male will stay down there on breeding loan. Just because like the person I'm teaming up with does not have a male, so it's just easier to keep my male there, and then we both profit, like we both make do or make better of what we have, basically. You're telling me my Super Raptors ended up having pied markings that didn't show up until 15 grams. Yeah, I mean some things like the coloration doesn't really show up until a little bit later on some things. Especially with like these Joker Clown project stuff, the coloration goes through a bunch of different phases, if you will, where like whenever they're born, they don't look like much because the orange hasn't come in. They'll have the dark bands that end up turning like lavender and then to green or whatever color they're going to be. So it's better to wait to see like how that develops. Because like this one, for instance, she was super lavender on her sides, but now it's like a green coloration with that crazy orange stripe to her. So she, I don't want to misrepresent them whenever like they're still lavender because it's going to turn. But you'll see in some of these other ones that I'm about to do, the lavender has stayed or the darkness has stayed. And you guys probably are on a delay from what I'm actually saying, so I will get to your comments. This one's really cool too. Super like whacked out, different colors. Purple to green to orange, I love it. Yes, it definitely goes from like dark to purple to green to like a yellowish like orange coloration on some of them. But some of them, they do stay lavender. So I would rather know which ones are going to stay lavender than, and then that way, like, you can price them a little bit differently. But yeah, this guy's super cool. You can see like the actual lavenders and the oranges on that one. And like different ones from different females, they'll look different. Because they'll have more this message is held for review. Uh-oh. Don't be swearing in your message or it won't pop up. Line retain. I'm working with a line retaining lavender from Blood OG Cross Lines. Cool. That's the cool part about leopard geckos is you can really customize them to whatever you really want. I'm going to show your comment even though you swore. There we go. So where's all the hard-hitting questions at, guys? Come on. This one's going to keep its lavender on the sides. Super cool. And then the sibling oranged out. So usually that's what you'll see is the ones that keep their lavender will stay more of a yellow color. And then the ones that turn more orange the orange will kind of overtake everything. But we are working on a line that does not do that. And it is working. And we will get to those guys in a minute. So this one again, the orange has overtaken it and made it green. You can still see where the lavender was. This one still has some lavender to it. And the good part is some of these guys are leaving on Monday, which will be nice. So these next ones are actually going through their dark phase, which is kind of cool. I think my comments are messing around, but I did ask, how did I get into reptiles and animals originally? It's actually a pretty good question. It's kind of a long story, short story, but I will go into it for you. Look at this thing. This thing is crazy. So this one is actually going through its dark phase. Mike Eklund. Holy cow. There's a blast from the past. Dude, I still have some of your funky jungles. I might be the only one on the planet still. So these guys are really, really dark. Hope you're doing well, Mike. Actually, these like 7 tubs in the top over here, right there, those are all funky jungle stuff. Actually, hold up. Funky jungle. Let me see like where there's a really cool one. They're a few years old, Mike, but I still got them. They're not super crazy jungled out So there's one of the adults, but I'll show you some babies. But I did cross a funky jungle to, oops, that's not it. It's this one. Funky jungle to my clown male and got this mic, which is pretty freaking awesome. So she has already been through her breeding season, so that's like the color that she's gonna stay, which is pretty awesome. So I will show you her babies, because I actually just saw them over here not too long ago. I-20. I-20. Oh, they're up here. I-20. You're there. So this is Funky Jungle crossed to clown, crossed back to like a clown type animal. But check that out. Freaking cool, right? It's not as whacked out of a pattern. It's like a slightly refined Funky Jungle. Put you down for a male. I will have some eventually. Whenever I start selling them, I'll definitely let you know, Mike. Actually, the other one that is super freaking cool is right here. I'm glad you came on, Mike, so I can actually show this stuff. Look at this guy. It's like a freaking highlighter. And that's not bad for a bell to have that kind of crazy color. But super freaking awesome. I love them. I love them a lot. And then there are other Funky Jungle bells. They're in here somewhere. That one maybe? Here they are. So there's that. And then there's this one. So they kind of still have your old school look. A little bit more orange to them now. Kind of the stripes have been refined a little bit. I think this one's, here's another one. Boop, 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 boop. Don't be crazy. Don't be crazy. That's more jungly, funkily. And then the sibling, that's Het Bell. Whoop. And I'm pretty sure we got some more in there too, which has a lot of the lavender, which is super cool. So those kind of look like your old school stuff, Mike. Trying to keep it looking like you wanted them. There is more. Where the heck are they? Do 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 do. 15. Is that them? There's more of them, Mike, but I'll find them. Yeah, on steroids. Well, you know, you got to keep up with the times a little bit. I'm just glad your Funky Jungles are not gone off the planet. I do have white and yellow stuff. I will get to it. So a lot of my first stuff that like hatched out actually didn't have like anything crazy in it. It was just more of like the Joker stuff. And like, so there wasn't like albinos, white and yellows, black knight crosses. I mean, some of the black knight crosses hatched early, but like a lot of the first stuff that came out was just Joker project stuff. in saying that, that's what a lot of the stuff that I'm cleaning right now. So these ones that I'm cleaning now are the first babies of the year. And then we're gonna go kind of down the line as we go. I just saw that Mike was on, so I wanted to show him some of his old school stuff. Look at this thing. This one is actually going to the UK. It's drippy. It's drippy. And then getting the dark to stay on the sides. And then as we go, you'll see animals that the dark stayed much, much better. And here's one of my favorite animals of the year so far. She is just freaking awesome. That I'm actually just gonna hold on to her because she's cool. She's just amazing. Like, just super, super pretty. Probably gonna breed her back to her dad because her dad went through a whole breeding season and kept all of his colors. Which I actually did just see her dad behind me somewhere while I was cleaning. Let me see if I can't find the dad. Because he's freaking awesome. I gotta read some comments here. Starting up again, just looking for one more. Awesome. I'm glad you're back and getting into it a little bit. I remember your Black Pearl project being one of the first things I watched. How's that going? Are you doing that or has it changed? I don't have any Black Pearl project stuff anymore. I actually sold it all off whenever I got out the first time. Well, whenever I got out, like there hasn't been a second time yet. So thanks for showing me them with the show. I miss these videos. Well, I think a lot of people do, and I think I need to start bringing them back because there's a lot of bad information out there these days. And maybe I can help bring back good information. Also, do you have any giant super giants these days? Sorry for the rapid questions about the morphs. Hold on a second. Let me find the dad first of that one that I just showed you guys while I'm thinking about it. Here's actually an aunt of it that has already bred, and she kept her color like really, really good, which is pretty awesome. She actually laid 10 eggs, and she still looks like that. B15. Number 1. Ah, here it is. He's actually breeding with a Black Knight female. I knew I saw him. So, this is the dad. And that is after breeding. So, like, that thing is crazy looking. He's in breeding with a Black Knight right now. So, that's him. And then that's his daughter. So, dad, daughter. So they don't fade that much comparatively to breeding. I mean, they still do, but it's not crazy. Like, it didn't totally dark out. So that line is definitely pretty cool. So that's the bloody Joker stuff. The bloody Joker stuff definitely holds color a lot better than the regular Joker stuff, if you will. Also, do you have any giant super giants? Yes. I don't really work with them, but I mean, that one's pretty good size, I guess, yeah. So that's at least a giant, in my opinion. So comparative to, all right, so this is a Tremper patternless female. And then this is the giant. So, yeah, I think he's bigger. Weights on what? I honestly, like, I don't weigh my stuff because, like, I know what size visually they need to be to do things. And honestly, it's not, people get so wrapped up in the weight. Like, you could have an obese gecko that's 100 grams that is this long, and like, people are going to call it a giant because it's over 100 grams, whenever that's not true. Like, that long, lanky look, that is a giant. Yeah, so like, I hate whenever people kind of get wrapped up in weights. It's because weights don't really tell you much about the health of the animal. Like, you could have like let's say like a animal that's 6 inches long but be 100 grams, and you could have an animal that's like, you know, a long lanky giant that's 100 grams, and one of them is healthy and one of them is not. Like, it's about the overall body condition score of the animal, not how much it weighs, if that makes sense. Because then you'll have like black knights that like full-grown females, like this girl right here, that is in a perfect body condition, but she's never going to get like huge. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good body condition for a female. I mean, the tail could be like slightly more plump, but she's breeding. But females are going to be slightly smaller, if that makes sense. And especially like certain mutations, like black knights, because they're inbred and like they weren't outcrossed a whole lot, like they can be smaller and they'll ovulate smaller. Like, I've seen certain lines of animals that they ovulate at like 45 grams, and that's like their norm. And if you're trying to get to 55, 60 grams before you breed them, it's never going to happen because they just don't get that big. Also, I shouldn't use the word hate. That's a kind of a strong word for that. Should say that I think people get too wrapped up in what the weight is whenever you should be more concerned about the body condition. This guy's really cool. He's part of a G2 project as well. 66% het for Eclipse, and then this one is its Eclipse sibling. All right, now I gotta get back to some of these questions here. How long will you hold on to a holdback before you let it go? I find myself holding back more than I can use to produce the year. So holdback stuff. I am probably one of the only people on the planet that will actually post their holdbacks for sale initially. And at some point, if they don't sell, I just take them down. Hold on one second. So what I do is, if it's something that I want to keep, like, to me, there's always a specific value of an animal, unless it's like super rare, like let's say I hatch out like here's some more other stuff too. Let's say I hatch out like an actual genetic pied, like I'm not gonna sell that, or like a mutation that like I think might be genetic. I'm gonna hold it back just to try to see if it's reproducible. Other than that, any of this like polygenetic stuff that I produce, basically any of it technically could have a price. If you'll go on my morph market right now, there's like that female for $3,000. Like, if somebody gives me $3,000 for it, I'll be like, okay, I'll take it. But at the end of the day, like, I want to keep that animal because like she's awesome, and it's from a line that I know is going to produce like crazy stuff, like generation after generation. So her value to me is actually like much higher than some other animals, for instance. So yes, she is for sale. Will she be a holdback? Probably. So that's kind of how I do my like pricing of stuff, is like, if I would want to keep that animal as a holdback, the price is higher. That's basically what it is. But you know, I typically and notoriously have been known to post everything for sale at least once. Even my clown male that you know is 9 years old, that I still have to this day, that has produced literally, I mean, last year he probably produced 400 or 500 animals on his own. He at one point was for sale, and I think it was cheap too, because he was like an unsexed baby, and I think he was like $175, and like he turned into this freaking crazy animal, and I kept him, and now he has produced the Joker project basically. And then his dad before that, we were actually like kind of like trying to see if we could figure out like from baby pictures who he was, and if I ever did try to sell him. And yeah, I did try to sell him as well. So like even the dad to my clown project male like was originally for sale. So yeah. And then once it gets towards the end of the season, like 5 animals that are, you know, or basically whenever the new breeding season starts, if some of the animals start ovulating, I breed them if I haven't sold them. And then, you know, once they're done breeding, I'll probably end up selling those off. Yeah, so that's kind of how I do things, if that makes sense. Hope that answers your question, but I do typically put everything up for sale whenever it is a juvenile. And then if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, then, you know, I kind of pick my breeders from that. So technically, the general public has access to everything that I can produce. Those again were other G2 project animals. What else we got? What are the biggest problems you encounter with breeding? Do you get any egg binding or injuries while breeding? Injuries are very, 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 very rare, honestly. Egg binding, of the literally thousands of females that I've bred, it's only happened a very, very like small amount of times. Like I would say less than 10 that I can think of in my, you know, 15, 20 years of breeding. And like legit, I have hatched probably easily over 10,000 babies. Like I always show people this for reference. Like, this is a 32 quart tub absolutely filled with eggs. And this isn't all of the eggs that I've ever hatched. For reference, this little container has 50 eggs in it. So that's a lot of eggs. And it just was something that I started doing randomly. I think it was because whenever we were doing the Daytona show back in the day, there was a rumor that we were, that FWC would make us like show proof that they were captive bred. So I started saving the eggshells, because that's what they kind of said that they were leaning to, was that you had to have proof that they were captive bred. So I was like, that's enough proof. So that's why I have all of these. And honestly, I haven't added to that. The ones from the last 2 years are up here. So And then this year we're already at like 750. So I have 15 of those little 50 count containers. I would show you, but I don't need to show you. You guys get it. But yeah, so in all of that breeding, the worst injuries that I've ever seen are maybe like a tail nip, if that. Usually the males are pretty gentle for the most part, as long as the females are actually ovulating. That's the biggest thing. Don't put a male in there if she's not ovulating, because it's just not worth it. Judging like ovulations and stuff like that, I can tell when to put a female in or put a male in so that it's good for both parties. That the female's super receptive, male's ready to go, put them together for like a night, and then either he might stay in there for a couple days or he gets moved into the next tub, because like there's a lot of tubs. So, and I don't really use that many males. There might be 20 to 30 males that I use, if that, and there's probably 200 to 300 females. So, I don't use a ton of males, and it's kind of better that way, because then, you can really see what those males are producing. And then if those males aren't really producing what I want, they get kind of knocked out of the rotation. Does that make sense? But the biggest thing is learning how to grade ovulations and really know when the best time is, basically. Gotta price it so you don't hurt your own feelings when they go. Yeah, yeah. These are pure firebolts. So with firebolts, either the orange takes over the pattern like this, or they yellow and have a great pattern. So these are actually pure firebolts, and both types of looks, basically. Yes, you do have to price stuff so that you feel comfortable in what you're getting for that price, or what, you have to feel comfortable with being able to sell it for whatever you sold it for. That's funny. FWC is big fun, especially at shows. Yeah. FWC is FWC. They've got a job to do, and I'm on a social media platform that if they're watching this, I don't need them coming to my house. So my opinions of FWC are going to remain my opinions. And like politics, sometimes you just don't need to be sharing your opinion about stuff. You ever cross females that just don't seem to ovulate? Actually, I had this conversation with one of my friends locally, actually this week, about he's had some females that just haven't ovulated, ever. Do I ever see it? I only ever see it in some of the really, really old animals that I have. I've got a marble eye female down there, that one with the white tag, that one right there. She is, she's probably 10, 12 years old, and she just doesn't ovulate anymore. I keep her as a pet. She's still a really, really cool animal. I'll show her here in a second. But yeah, she doesn't ovulate. But I feel like every female that I have right now actually did ovulate this year. Some of them I bred, some of them I didn't. But and honestly, she might be one of the original Marble Eyes from like, you know, the mid 2000s. But she's a Sunglow. And there's her little Marble Eyes. She's an awesome animal, but she does not ovulate anymore. She's done. But she's got a special place in my heart because she is one of the original Marble Eyes. So I kept her through, you know, like whenever I really didn't have very many animals, and yeah, she's a great animal. Honestly, some of these older animals, I think I'm going to end up setting up enclosures in my house that are kind of decked out a little bit better for them. Probably going to retire my clown male at some point. And my plan for him is to have like a really cool like 4x2 like area where he can just kind of chill and do whatever he wants to for the rest of his life. All right, so what else we got here? Strange question, but what are your favorite feeder insects? Do you keep breeder colonies? My favorite are dubia roaches, and I despise locusts. So we can't actually... all right, so here in Florida, dubia are illegal. I have discoid roaches instead, and I use mealworms as my feeder of choice. The discoid roaches are basically for my tree monitors. Like I'm growing like a big colony of discoids up so that I always have food for my tree monitors. Locusts really aren't a thing here in the US. I wish they were, because tree monitors would love them. But same with like grasshoppers and stuff like that, but nobody here in the US is breeding them on a commercial level that is affordable. So you guys actually have it better over there than we do whenever it comes to certain feeder insects. This female is awesome. Look at that. That is freaking crazy. So this is actually the sister to the other cool one that's $3,000. And actually she's on Morph Market for a lot less, and I need to take her off of there because I am going to keep her. And breed her back to her dad because she is on fire, literally. I mean, look at this freaking thing. Like, don't need to do any photo tricks, guys. Just breed cool looking animals. And you don't have to oversaturate the picture. All right, now where are we? I've got a het cipher girl that I've had for 3 seasons. I'm still never seen her ovulate, and believe me, I check. Yeah, you'd probably check on a cipher female. Probably check all the time, because that would be very, very cool. Things can happen. Like, they're animals. Sometimes, you know, animals don't ovulate, or a male that won't breed, or is infertile, or a female that's infertile. Like, it can happen. I mean, that's always the risk that you take whenever you buy any animal to try to breed it, is one, that it'll never breed, 2, like that you end up losing it somehow. So this is a Black Knight cross to my Clown Project, cross back to itself. Super cool animal. Oh wow, that's interesting. How different insects are in different countries. Why are dubias illegal? They're not invasive. I think it is that they could be, which is kind of interesting because discoids are pretty much the same freaking roach, let's be honest. But I think it was because dubia were so popular in the industry, and probably discoids technically weren't as popular. Discoids do slightly need like more protein, I guess, but I mean, it just is what it is. Have I ever had any genetic issues, extra limbs, blah, blah, blah? Nothing that is hatched. I hope that answers that question. There was an animal a long time ago that never hatched that actually had 8 legs. And then the other thing that I've seen that not that often, but it does happen, is because I cut open all my eggs if they've gone past term just to see what happened, if that makes sense, because then you can learn from it. And a lot of times whenever I have any issues inside the egg, more often than not, it's actually that the lower jaw actually does not form correctly, and they'll have like an overbite, and because they have that overbite, they can't get out of the egg, and that can cause an issue for sure. But it's also kind of a good thing because then they don't hatch, so you're not nursing along this animal that has like a half of a bottom jaw, basically. But again, I wouldn't even call that genetic because it happens randomly and it's not the same pairing ever, typically. It is just one of those things that you'll have an egg that doesn't hatch and you cut it open and the bottom jaw is like half formed. This is one of my favorite animals too. Look at this thing. Freaking spots. It is just so awesome, this animal. It's one of my favorites. Like, all the little tubercles are black on the sides. And then the lavender kind of stayed, but it's not really there. Now that you're in Florida, do you wish roller hockey would make a comeback? I actually play ice hockey down here. This one's really cool too. That's the sibling. And ice hockey down here, believe it or not, is actually, in my opinion, more competitive than up north in Connecticut. At least the men's leagues are. Because what you get down here is all the retired Canadians, people from the Northeast, people from Michigan, Minnesota, all that stuff that come down here to live. And it makes the men's leagues freaking awesome. Like, I literally play in one league that's an over 40 league that I play with, like, ex-professional players. Like, they're awesome. Like, they got paid to play for a pretty long part of their life. Let's put it that way. Whereas like over 40 leagues, like up where I used to live, like you'd get guys that could barely skate. So there's a big difference. So here is actually much, much better hockey. This guy's cool. 3 little dots. Well, they're kind of big dots, but yeah. There is roller hockey down here, but it is so hot outside, Mike, that like I would not even play roller hockey down here. Like whenever I was working at Disney the other day, the feels like temperature was 107. And I'm not playing hockey in that. Sorry. So instead, I go indoors where there's ice and literally chill. This one's kind of cool. It's in shed, so it looks like crap, but this is actually an Albi Snow crossed to a tangerine. So it's kind of like a creamsicle. These are more Black Knight Joker crosses, F1s, and these ones will produce real crazy stuff. They don't look like anything right now. It's the F2s that look cool. So these will be like next year's breeders. So yes, you probably will not see these 2 particular ones up online, because those are F1s. I am selling a lot of the F2s though, because I don't need a million of them. And one of my favorites, my Hardwickie. I love these things. So cool. Just so awesome. Look at that little cute face. That is my favorite species / subspecies right there. I need to get more of them. That's what I need to do. Because I do love them. Here's another crazy one. By the way, thanks guys for joining me while I clean. Look how cool that is. It's lavender and crazy orange. Actually, it does show up pretty well. I'm looking at it as you're seeing it over there. And that nice striped one. Woo! Maybe I need to do this more. Just come and hang out with you guys. Maybe get monetized again. This next one's really cool too. It's like, has 5 different stripes or some crazy shit. Super cool looking. Look at that. It's got dark stripe, light stripe, red stripe, light stripe, lavender stripe flanked by 2 dark stripes, and then the same thing on the other side. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 4. So I don't even know what you would call that, like 11 stripe. I do wish that it kind of stayed a little bit more solid, but we can work on it. We can work on it. Alright, so these guys are more G2 project stuff. Alright, I was just making sure nobody else commented because there wasn't any new comments there for a while. But like, pow, lots of carrot tail. And more carrot tail. And then this one's shedding. But still a really pretty animal. Alright, these are just more Black Knight Joker Project crosses. Freaking crazy Saturday night, right guys? Clean and poop. A lot of these guys are shedding. By the way, thank you guys for like asking questions. Makes the time go by a little bit faster if I have something to talk about. Have you got any marble eyes? One of mine was a Sunglow marble eye. Any awesome eyes of that kind? Yeah, I actually, one of the animals that I held back while I was MIA was a Tug Snow marble eye male, and he has been producing babies. So yes, I am bringing back like actual marble eye stuff. So what I did was I crossed that male to Atomics to make hets, and then bred those hets back to the male and to each other so that they're outcrossed. And by doing that, I was able to make more of them. But whenever you're starting a population back from one animal, it takes a little while. The future of leopard gecko markets seems to be bright with new morphs coming out too. Yeah, I mean, there's not really any new like morph, if you will. There's a lot of polygenetic stuff that's really cool. I wish there was like a, you know, an actual genetic thing that was pretty cool that would come out. Woo! And hello. Oh yeah, I did kind of blow by that question, didn't I? The whole how did I get into? Yeah, there is those like tubercle-less animals. That is true. The satins. They're not over here in the U.S. yet. Hold on one sec. He was texting me, so I had to text him back. Maybe he'll show up. Because he's texting me, maybe he'll just show up on here and then he can just talk to me. Seeing all the volcano smoke or lava, are those morphs? Those are, I mean, I guess they're more combinations slash line bred. They're using like black knights and Mandrian tangs and Tremper albino and stuff like that, I believe. They are very cool. They're out of Canada. I've definitely been taking notice. Yeah, the Cypher, that is a newer one for sure. A lot of potential in ghost pastels. People I talk to say pastel is genetic. Yeah, probably like more of a line bred genetic, but yes. Yep. Yo, what's up, Wildcard? I watched your rant. Somebody dumb pissed you off. Oh, I think my cats want in. I'm gonna adjust this just slightly because now there's light coming in. I will get back to the how I got into reptiles. You guys wanted to see my pets, right? I'll see if the cats will come in. Come on. You coming in? Yeah? You want to talk about it? Come here. People want to see you. My big fluffers. So, this is one of my ragdolls. She's awesome. Look how big she looks. She's really not that big. That's forced perspective. But she is cute. I know. What? She's got blue eyes, her little split face. Mwah. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Meow. Meow. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. So this is Nephthys, after the Egyptian goddess. She's pretty awesome. And her sister might come in. She also has mitts. She is mitted. So she is a split face tortie point, seal tortie point. So she's pretty awesome. And she's a chunker. Look at how big she is. And then this is Cirquette. And she is split faced on the other side. And they are actually sisters from a different litter. But Cirquette is smaller. And Cirquette is also named after a goddess. And she's not as big. She's more lean. She's a lean one. Huh. Want to say hi? You're like, nope. Put me down. And this is why they're called ragdolls. Because literally you can just do whatever you want with them. Huh. You can just do whatever you want. And then they saw what was going on in here, so now they're both going to leave. But they love being in the same room with me, so whenever I didn't have them in this room, like, they were crying. Yeah. Meow. But there's the big chunk. Huh. So she is actually a year older than her sister. But they are from the same parents. So you guys might know this. So I used to have a cat named Isis, which is after the Egyptian or the Egyptian goddess, not the terrorist organization that came after. She was already named. So Isis was the like original goddess, and then whenever I had her, she was probably about 13, and I was like, I want to get her a friend. So I wanted to find another split-faced ragdoll, because Isis was a blue point split-face mitted, blue cream tortie mitted, I should say, technically. She was Isis, and went to go find a, another split face ragdoll, and got my name on a waiting list of a lady that had a female that was split faced. So I was like, well, maybe, a baby in there will be split faced, and then I can have two split faced. And while I was waiting for, the baby to come, Isis actually developed cancer, and she died before I was able to get Nephthys. And her name was already picked out, like, she was born. I just wasn't able to get her yet because she was too young. I had to have Isis put down whenever she was like 13. I think she was 13 or 14. Very awesome cat. Loved her. So they never got to meet, and I got Nephthys shortly after she died, like a month after she died. So I was without a cat for a month, and then loved her. She was great, and the breeder actually reached out to me about 9 months later, saying that she had another one that was a split face, and the person backed out of buying her because she was a split face. Because in ragdolls, the more solid points, or the bicolors, which is they have that V on their nose, is what is more liked, I guess. But tortie is a recognized color. And I personally love the split face because they just look freaking cool as hell. So I ended up getting, the sister, and like the first couple days, like Nephthys hated her, and then all of a sudden now they're like, they got used to each other, and now they're inseparable. Like Nephthys really acts like her mom basically, and kind of, is the dominant cat in a way, and then like Circuit just kind of acts like her baby, which is kind of cool. So yeah, and now they're laying here on the floor. Right, there's one. That's Circuit. So Circuit and Nephthys, the names are basically is they were sisters of Isis. So that's kind of where their names both came from. And in Egyptian mythology, a lot of it is like there was main gods and goddesses, and then as time went on, like their roles kind of evolved, and then their names kind of changed. So a lot of people will say that like Nephthys and Circuit are still technically like almost like just offshoots of Isis. So it's one of those Egyptian mythology things. Go look it up. It's very cool. And that's where SaSobek actually came from. Like the name that I use for SaSobek Reptiles. So the Sa actually means son of in ancient Egypt. And Sobek is the Egyptian crocodile god. So that's where the name actually comes from. It's a username that I've used since I was basically in high school, and that's where the name actually came from. So it's not actually my last name or anything like that. It has nothing to do with any of that, actually. It is my love for Egyptian mythology. So that was my TED Talk. So thank you for joining or something. Yeah. So back to, wow, I really got a lot of hair on me, don't I? Jesus. They are long-haired cats, so they shed a lot. Wow. My camera actually picks up a lot more than I thought, huh? Holy shit. All right. There. We got it all off? I think so. Okay. So, back to me getting into reptiles. So, I was actually into tropical fish as a kid. And the tropical fish thing landed me a job at the local pet store. From there, I started to have a love for reptiles, basically because everybody else that worked there was afraid of them or didn't like them or whatever. And that's whenever I got into reptiles. So I have been, and so whenever I was a teenager, well, more like, it's probably like 15. I did have a baby American alligator at 15. Actually, that was my first pet reptile, was a baby American alligator. Yeah, probably not the smartest fucking thing in the world, but that was my first pet reptile. But because I lived in Pennsylvania, and the laws and regulations of having said crocodilians in Pennsylvania was a little lax, to say the least. Yeah, my first actual pet reptile was a crocodilian. Which I guess technically they're not reptiles. More related to birds, but you get the idea. And can anybody guess what my American alligator's name actually was? Come on, everybody's got a comment. We got 11 of you in here. What was my baby American alligator's name? And then while you guys are answering that, there was a comment about Mancoons up there. So Mancoons are actually the largest, cat breed, and Ragdolls are number 2. And that is because they did use Mancoon to kind of outcross 2 Ragdolls to make them larger, actually. So Ragdolls and Mancoons are kind of related. All right, I gotta get at least 6 guesses before I actually tell you guys. There's 12 of you here. That's only half of you. Say something. Spike. I can't tell you if it was an Egyptian name or not. Wild card with his Horus and Anubis. Actually, a lot of you are getting this right. So I'm very proud of you for paying attention. And then I'll tell you an even funnier story. I'm glad you guys are actually responding here. All right, we got at least 6 guesses, so I will tell you. My first pet reptile that was an American alligator We got another message held for review. Wild card swearing again. What the? You can't swear. It hides it. I gotta unhide it. So yes, my first pet reptile that was a baby American alligator that I believe I got for like $60 because they're cheap. Not that they should be. Was named Sobek. So, all of you guys that said Sobek, give yourselves a round of applause. But did you also know that not only did I have one baby American alligator, I had two baby American alligators. So the next question is, what was the name of my second baby American alligator? These guys are cool. Look at the head, the neck band on that one. So fucking cool. And Joe, like we were saying, that orange on there is that metallic color. So they're super sweet. No, Joe, it wasn't SaSobek, because Sa means son of. I'm SaSobek. My alligator's name was Sobek. Not now. Oh. What does brother of translate to brother of Sobek? Actually, I forget who was the brother of Sobek. He does have a brother. But no, it wasn't. Actually, whenever I tell you guys the name, you guys are going to be like, really? And it wasn't Spike, by the way. Ra is a good guess. Ra is the basically father deity of all of them. He was the main god. At least during certain points of Egyptian mythology. Because just like anything else, there was like different manifestations of Ra, depending on what like year you're talking. Sobek is the half brother of Anubis, according to Google. Okay, it was not Anubis though. So wouldn't Horus then also be? Because I think a Horus and Anubis might be brothers. I believe Sobek helped find Horus's eye in the river, though, the Nile. I do geek out to Egyptian mythology, even though I can't remember half of it right now. I guess I should start showing you guys some geckos too while I'm doing this, because these guys are pretty hot. Coming in hot. Did run out of paper towels, but look at what we got here, more paper towels. All right. Steve. That would be kind of awesome, just to name an alligator Steve. All right, so my second baby American alligator's name, because he was smaller than Sobek by a little bit, because I got him like a year later or something like that, so Sobek had already gotten a little bit bigger, but then they like the other one eventually caught up to him and then I could put them together. I'm looking with names. My rats have names like Wild and Mild. That's kind of funny. He did that one, like talking, and lost my place there. No, it was not called Tiny. It was actually called Minnie from the movie Austin Powers, like Mini-Me. It was like Mini SaSobek, or Mini Sobek, I should say. So yeah, the other one's name was Minnie. Look at that craziness. Such cool stripe. And then this one. Super cool. So yeah, I had Minnie and Sobek. So I had a bunch of fish tanks and then 2 American alligators while I was in high school. That is pretty stupid though to have. There probably wasn't a lot of parental supervision involved with that. I don't think I've really ever said that those were my first 2 pet reptiles. Pet ectotherms. Oh, you guys were talking about like the lava stuff earlier. So this is actually a Black Knight Tremper albino. So kind of along the same lines as the volcano lava stuff. How long did they live? That's a good question. Actually, at a certain point in my life, specifically whenever I went into the military, I couldn't take them with me, obviously. So I gave them to someone that had a bigger area, and I honestly don't know whatever happened to them. I think they had them for quite a long time. I don't know if they're still alive to this day, because kind of whenever I moved away from my hometown, like I really didn't go back, and I never looked into like what happened to them, honestly. I hope the guy took good care of them, and I hope they're still living somewhere, but I honestly don't know. All right. Have a great night, Jordan. And I'll try to do more of these so that you can come and hang out more. And I will definitely answer more questions next time you're on. This one is also very cool. It's a Joker bell. It's actually so cool, I put it in this rack so that I could keep better track of it. What time is it, by the way, guys? I feel like I've been doing this for a long time. We're almost at 100 minutes. 100 minutes! Nobody's ever going to rewatch all this. Just saying. But you know what, guys? You guys are getting me closer to getting monetized again. Maybe if I got monetized, I would actually do this more often. 420. It is not 420. Might be 420 somewhere. Or is that 5 o'clock somewhere? That's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's probably 420 in Colorado. You guys don't have that 420 shit in Arizona, do you? Where it's legal? It is really crazy to just keep opening tub after tub after tub of, like, a lot of them that look very similar. But they all look awesome. So, 420 Arizona time. Oh, it actually is 420 Arizona time. So that makes it, what, 720 here? Because you guys don't have daylight savings time ever, do you? You just stay the same, I think, because you're one of those weird states. British Columbia, Canada. That's where they know how to play some hockey. This animal right here, I'm probably going to hold back. People were asking me about hold back stuff. Look at how clean that is. There's not even a black spot on its sides. Like, crazy. It's got some head spots, but that's it. Like, look at how clean that is. She is awesome. I like it a lot. Yeah, at least Arizona, you got that dry heat out there, not this humidity craziness like we have here. So that is kind of one of the weird things. Are you still working with cave geckos? I am not working with cave geckos any longer. I'd like to at some point. Maybe once I get like settled somewhere, because I'm really not like settled yet. I will start working with cave geckos again. I want to get a bunch of other stuff that I really like. Kitten, what are you doing back there? Are you just looking around, seeing what's here? Hmm? Keeping an eye on everything back there. What's this? It's alive. Sorry. The kitties can eat whenever they want. They have food available to them at all times. Oh, the animal before that? That was actually... What are you doing? It was a pure clown project animal, actually, that had the very clean sides. Joe, I just did it again, using that fucking word. It is original clown project animals bred back to each other. If that makes sense. Joe, after we had that conversation, now I'm going to keep saying it. So that animal is technically, so I2, it is my original clown female to original clown project male that made a baby that is this girl right here, bred back to the dad. So it's 3/4 dad, 1/4 original female. So yeah, super cool animal. I should just start pulling animals to show you guys and stop cleaning. because you guys are making me clean so much slower, by the way. I can usually do a rack in a half an hour, and it's been almost 2 hours, and I'm 1.5 racks in. So I'm blaming this on you guys. I should go into crazy clean mode so you can see how fast I can actually do this. All right. Let's do that. If there's any animals that I think are crazy, I'll pull them out so you guys can see them. But let's get to moving. Sad I get that. Miss G project. Well, G project technically lives on in the clown project, and the clown project technically lives on in... Actually, you know what? Here. That's close to your clown project, just doesn't have the tail. But close to your G project. But I can make the tail better. It's funny you just said that. Never did. Yeah, G project was a cool project. I wish I still had some of them. I mean, this Aptor is kind of the same, from the same pairing. So G7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Kinda. It's from a project that is close. I love how I said I was going to go fast on this, and then like you guys comment, and I got to look and respond. So here's another Black Knight Joker project F2, which is pretty cool. L6. This is Albie Snow crossed to Atomic. So that is an Albie Snow. Same with that. They're just crossed to Atomic, so they have color. Because I'm breeding them to stuff with color and stuff without color. Don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. I haven't really decided. I mean, technically, actually this one's kind of G Project-ish too. I just got to get the tail back. I'll show you these guys in a second. That's old school G Project look. I just got to get some carrot tail into it. Same thing with this one. Pretty sweet, right? Woo! I mean, because honestly, all G Project was line bred byproducts of Raptor and Eclipse stuff, is all it really was. I love how I say that like it was no freaking big deal, though. I mean, that's really all emerine is, too, technically. Actually, Joe, that's what you should do. If you can find some old school emerine stuff from Julie, that technically could evolve into a G Project looking animal with time. Like an extreme emerine. Taking me back to my gecko days. Oh, here's Funky Jungles. Bloop, bloop. Funky Jungle Bellabino. Alright, I'm gonna go to the end of this rack, guys. Josiah, what's up, dude? Actually, somebody asked a question earlier that I kind of wished you were in the room for. You could have talked to them privately about females that just don't seem to ever want to ovulate. That person might be here, actually, still. Person that was asking the question about the females not ovulating, are you still here? Please announce yourself. So that you two, you and Josiah, can have an enlightening conversation. These guys are cool too. Some bold stripes. Bold stripe. I mean, obviously there's other stuff in it, but... And then white and yellow bold stripe. It's got a smiley face. Honestly, I gotta show you the white and yellow one again, because it's freaking cool. Like, look at it's got lavender with like almost rosetted. Freaking cool. So C4, so those are actually Firebolt, Crossed a Clown, Crossed a Clown, Crossed a White and Yellow Bold that made those. What bold line? It's Firebolt. It's Firebolt, Crossed a Clown project, crossed to, like, that's the female, crossed to a clown project again, crossed to white and yellow bold from John. Which he's laying around here somewhere. I don't know where though. White and yellow bold. If I had them easily accessible, I would just show you. Is he actually in there? White and yellow bold. He's been breeding, but like he's super cool. Like super cool head pattern, and then super lavender sides. Freaking awesome. So that's the dad of those. The best bold line. Yeah, like his head pattern is just cool. Like, look at that. Super clean. Like, I like him. Yes, it's John's. one of the only people that'll get stuff from. I mean, there's a few others, but the list is small. The list is small. And then these guys, bing, bing. Oops. This one's really cool. It's got a lot of lavender. But it's kind of weird because, like, even with that much lavender, this is probably one that I would sell pretty cheap because it doesn't have the orange like I like. It's still a super cool animal. Josiah, you like that white and yellow bold? Pretty cool, right? After seeing your fire bold white and yellows, I was like, I need to start making something kind of like that. And it just so happened that he had a white and yellow bold male, like on his website, so I just picked it up. And then we could probably swap bloodlines because then that would be like outcrossing. These guys are dark. They are dark. Actually, Joe, I know you'll like this. I'll probably bring some females to Daytona. Nice. Are you actually vending or no? Look at the stripe on that. That's a full stripe. Doesn't even have the little, woo, gotcha, gotcha. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Doesn't even have that little, hold on. Let him calm down a second. It doesn't even have that little band by the back legs. It's pretty cool. This one's cool. Are you vending with anybody or are you setting up by yourself? Probably setting up with Nick, right? Or are you guys not setting up together? Just you, one table. Damn. Which room are you going to be in? Are you going to be in the second one? My first solo show. Way to have it be Daytona. Your first solo show, you're going to do Daytona. That's some balls right there. You're not going to be able to leave your table whatsoever. It's not going to be like the Fort Myers show, dude. Which is probably a good thing because we didn't sell shit. Look at that. Whee! And the sibling. Pretty cool. Look at that color. Just awesome. You hope you don't have to go to the bathroom. Just don't drink any water whatsoever. And don't drink any booze at night. Because you probably feel like shit the next day. Joe, you should fly out to Daytona. Come meet all the East Coast boys. 2 hours to clean a rack. What's taking you so long? Ugh. Losing my touch, I guess. It's probably because I'm showing you guys all these animals. These are the G2 project animals. It is, yeah, I know, old man, right? I'm gonna have to take a nap after cleaning this rack because I'm getting so old. It is like the 19th of August, like that weekend, whenever that weekend is. Josiah, what are the dates? I think it's like 19th and 20th, 18th, 19th, 20th, something like that. I don't have access to a calendar right now because you guys are tying up my phone. Friday is the 18th. Okay. Yeah, whatever that weekend is around then, Joe, it's the third weekend in August. So it's technically the third weekend in August every year. Yeah, exactly. You can relieve Josiah so he can go to the bathroom. He'd probably appreciate that. Actually, I can do the same thing, Josiah, because I'm going to go for fun. I mean, I did get my class 3 this week, so technically I can go do it. Who knows? Maybe I still will. Like, I think he still has a few tables left. Because you're in the second room, right, Josiah? I think that's where everybody is now, is in the second room. Oh. Josiah, I guess if you go on to the web page, as long as you sent your money in already, he's already placed you in a spot. Like the map is already up on the website, or at least that's what he told me. Hoping I can make it out to that show next year. I might do it next year for the hell of it. I don't know if I want to do it this year or not. This is one of the last ones I'm doing for right now, because it's time to eat dinner. Let me show you guys some other stuff real quick. This one's pretty sick. Wait a minute, there we go. Like, look at the color on that thing. It's freaking craziness. I'm not going to clean them, I'm just going to show them to you. This one's pretty dark. Pretty crazy looking. Real green. Same thing with this. C7, so these are actually het for rainwater. And they're pretty sick. That's het rainwater. Het rainwater. See if there's any other craziness. I have 2. Oh, these ones are super cool. Those are sick. So those are actually Joker crossed to, or Clown crossed to Firebolt, crossed back to Firebolt. So those ones are pretty cool. Is it possible to make a tangerine snow to be orange colored? Yes, it is. Not technically bright orange. It'll be like a creamsicle look, but they can get pretty orange. Does the snow gene not allow the orange to be there? No, you can actually line breed snows to have color. Yeah, I've done it. I just don't like using max snows because then then there's always the chance of getting a super. So I don't use max snow whenever I'm doing that. I only use Tug, Gem, or Albie whenever I'm doing that. Oh, here's the other one that I wanted to show you guys. This thing is just cray-cray. It's probably not going to stay like this, but it is cool as hell. Look at the sides. They're like void of any dots. That thing is just freaking crazy. Like, look at that thing. I like it. And usually I mean, it's probably going to fade out, but that one's going to be super clean as well. All right, guys. It's been 2 hours and almost 10 minutes. So I'm probably going to get the heck off of here. Go get some dinner. I'm going to answer these questions real quick. Do you ship to Canada? Loving your clown stuff. I'll be looking to get some in the next couple of years. I can ship to Canada. I think I go through Reptiles Express to do that. I have a picture of an Albie Snow, Firebolt, and non-snow sibling you could compare. Yeah, OG hit him up, hit Josiah up over at Only Leos, right? It's Only Leos? Or Leopard Geckos Only? Which one is it? Am I thinking of OnlyFans? That's what you should do, is make shirts that look like OnlyFans, only Leopard Geckos Only. Is it Leopard Geckos Only? I think it's Leopard Geckos Only. That's my other page. Oh, you have one of those too? I actually don't make a living breeding reptiles. It's actually my OnlyFans. Now we're getting people to respond, now that I'm making jokes. But anyway, guys, Leos Only, that's what it is. Okay, so Leos Only is the actual name. You do need to make, like, it look like OnlyFans and make shirts. I would fucking buy one. Yeah, it's all feet, though. You don't want to see my feet. My feet are fucking messed up. I need to cut my toenails probably too. I just don't care like what they look like. You thought about it? Dude, you need to do it for sure. Because that would be awesome. Like, make it look like OnlyFans, only it's like Leos Only. It'd be so fucking cool. Like, do it. I will literally rock those shirts at shows. Somebody say feet. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll probably be doing more of these next few days because, like, I'm off work for like 2 weeks. Yeah, and I got a lot of leopard geckos to clean, and you guys keep me entertained. So, yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. Hope you have a good one. Share this to people so that, like, my algorithm goes up or something, and then I'll start making more videos on YouTube, and then maybe I'll think about actually getting paid by it someday. It'd be cool to have one of those little buttons, one of those silver buttons hitting 100,000 like subscribers or whatever. But I'm not gonna pay for it like some other fucking people. And you know who I'm talking about. Nice, shared on Discord. Just clip that last little part there for people that know. Anyway, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a leopard gecko breeder. There's a difference. Anyway, all right. We'll see you guys later. Hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'm gonna peace out.